everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with the last layout using the March Hip Kit. It is a Project Life layout and this one took me an hour and 4 minutes to complete. I have one piece of pattern paper left and it is from My Mind's Eye and it's that beautiful pattern paper. And I didn't want to put it back in my stash and I didn't feel like it was enough to keep it around. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up cutting one at 4x6 and the other at 3x4, or the two of them at 4x6, and then I'm just going to use them in two different ways. But I just wanted the thing on the layout instead of, I didn't want to throw it out because I really liked it, but I didn't want to put it in my stash. If I can not have any scraps, that's what I want. I don't want any scraps in my stash whatsoever. A few months ago, I just got rid of all my scraps. So a lot of people, what they do is they purge, they just get rid of stuff. I can't do that. I love my scrapbooking supplies. I don't care if something is 10 years old, 15 years old, because really, once you put it in your scrapbook, I mean, I have scrapbooks that are there for 10 years. I'm not going to go back and change it to the hip new pattern paper. So whether I scrap it today or I scrapped it 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. When I find something that I haven't used for a while, I get excited. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. And actually, 1 month on my Facebook group, I had done a challenge on using something old, and I had taken out these rub-on tools, and I had so many people ask me, where did you get those? I need to have me some of those. And they didn't exist anymore because it was something that I had bought like 15 years ago. But because I didn't bring it out for that long, to me, it was a new product, and I loved using it. And obviously people that were looking at it too didn't look at it and go, oh, that's so yesterday, People were getting excited about it and going, oh, I wish I could get that roller rub on. So to me, you mix old products with new products and it becomes exciting. But one thing I don't like is scraps. So and that's why I, don't put the kit away until I don't mind embellishments, putting it in my stash, but papers, I never seem to go back to it. So but as far as embellishments, I go back to those. So, but anyway, off on a little tangent there. So I took one of the cards that came in the March kit and it said this week was absolutely amazing. And I didn't want to, because this is a different configuration. It is design D as in Delta. And so it has vertical and then horizontal 3x4s. And this was a vertical 3x4. So I just cut out that this week was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to end up putting it on my title card in the end. And then I used some of that pattern paper. And then the back side was that beautiful gold glitter. And I hadn't used that side at all this month. But what I'm going to do is there was a strip of it. And I'm going to put it as little, the paper where the paper ended. And just kind of made a little, it's about 3/4 inch little strip there to kind of hide the division of the papers. And the paper in the middle is actually some grid cards from Project Life. I have a whole bunch in the 4x6 and the 3x4. So I put that down so that I could build a little cluster there. And on that card, I'm going to put, that week we had gone to a tournament in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And so we had taken pictures of the kids. We had a pizza party for them. Now I'm showing you, I have a whole video that shows how to use your pick frame app with your Canon selfie, but I had a picture missing, or maybe it was too big and I want to print one a little smaller. I think so. I think the picture of Mason with this little robot, it was just too big for the spread that I had. So I'm printing it in a smaller format so that I can put it on this layout. And that week I had gotten in my Hip Kit club. This is, what month is that? That was the March Hip Kit. And so I took a picture of it, and that's something that I get every month, and it's not something that I'm going to document every month that I get in, but once in a while I'll just take a picture of some of the orders that I have, and I'm going to scrap about it. And she puts these little stickers on top of your bags, and it says Hip Kit Club, and it's a nice little label, so I just cut around it and I just put it over top the photo. Okay, so I'm kind of jumping all over the place there. So the first card is where I'm going to put the title card, and I'm putting the date. And again, I'm using my Heidi Swap roller date stamp, and I got that at Michael's. So I'm just putting March 15th to March 21st. And I kind of skipped week 11 because these cards were vertical, and week 11 was the backside of the other design, and I wanted to finish my Hip Kit. I'm kind of funny that way. I like to finish something before I move on to something else. So I jumped on to this week and scrap this week, and then I'll go back and do week 11 before I move on to week 13. I'm using some of those stickers that came in the kit to write week 12. And then the second card, it says enjoy today. And I did bring in some stuff from my stash. It just says a simply perfect day. And I don't work on my cards in the order that they're in. I just work on the cards. If I know what I want to do for a certain card, I kind of do that one and then go back to the other ones. I'm going to use that ampersand that came from the chipboard sheet from the Craft Market collection. And again, I'm going to put a little picture of the kids at hockey right there. It was actually in one of the rooms that the hotel provided for us. And we had to buy the pizza from them, but it was really good pizza, and we had pizza and pop. And so they had a blast, and it was kind of emotional, and that's what I put our story, because there was 17 kids on the team, 17 or 16, and 8 of them, this was their last year. So it was quite emotional for them. They've been playing hockey since they were 6 years old or even younger. And it was their last year because they're in grade 12 and they can't play in midget, once they're or past a certain age either. And so it was quite emotional for them. It was their last tournament. And so I just want to document that it was kind of emotional for us, because another thing is, in midget, you have 3 years of hockey. So all those kids that were graduating, Josh never played with them because they were 3 years ahead. So the only year that he played with them was this year. So we only actually had 1 year with these kids, and they were really good kids. Like they were, and I don't know if some of you have some kids in hockey and at the midget age, but midget is different. My husband, it was his first year coaching midget, and he was a little afraid from what the horror stories that he's heard. Some of them are 18, 19 years old, and so they have a mind of their own, but we had a really good group of kids. And yes, their emotion takes over, but my husband is really good for that. And actually, I need to do a layout about that, because that was something that him and I spent many hours discussing about, how to deal with a bunch of teenage boys that are so emotional. But man, they had it under control by the end of the year. And they, like I said, they were a really super good group of kids. And we're only house league, so there's no checking. There's not supposed to be any fighting. But in previous years, like, kids were kicked out for games and games and games, and only back for a few games, and then they would get fighting again, and they'd be out again. And we only had a few occasions this year that we had a couple of kids kicked out for a few games, and even at that, they kept it still kept it under control. And anyway, it was just, like I said, I'm putting it in my Project Life album here, but I really want to put it in the scrapbook page too, because there's so much emotion tied into. We had tears in our eyes that weekend, because the parents were great, and even the captain, when he stood up and made a little speech, he talked about how this year the coaching was really involved with them, and also the parents were really involved in the games, because it can be, after a while, in the midget level, the parents stop coming to the games and stuff, because the kids can drive themselves to the games, but the parents were really involved. And I always had my horn, and I always cheered. I don't care if you're 18, you still need to be cheered. And he actually commented that the parents were cheering a lot this year, and they really, they're still kids, right? They still want to feel like they're being supported. So it was a really good year in hockey. The next card next to that is a small card, and it just said, "This happened today." And I go for a massage every month. And again, I'm not going to document it every month, but once in a while I just stick it in there. So I put Massage Monday, because most of my massages are on Mondays, because I book them a year ahead, and it just seems that when we go back, it's like, oh, the Monday, yeah. So I want to call it Massage Mondays. And yesterday was Monday, May 10th or 11th, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 11th, and I had a massage yesterday. So yeah, I guess it's Massage Monday is quite fitting for that. And the Hip Kit Club one there, I just took the basic gray letters and I put Hip Kit Goodness, and I received my kit on a Wednesday that week. The card next to that is Mason. His mom bought him a little robot, and oh my goodness, she posted a video on Facebook, and it was so cute. He was like circling it, and then because it walks, and then he goes up and the robot touches him on the nose. It's so cute. So I just put robot, and I'm just going to put maybe see video or something, maybe journal on the back or something like that. And then the card underneath that, it just says Happy Together Hockey. And then I just put a little car, because we had to travel to go to that hockey tournament. Is 3 hours away, or 2.5 hours away. And then there's a little heart, because I do love hockey. I miss it. By September, I love summer. It's my favorite season of the year. Absolutely love it. But when hockey starts, I think that's the only thing that gets me through winter, because I really don't like winter. Hockey is what gets me through winter. And then the last card, it just says what happened this week. So I'm just going to write down a few things, and I just put a label and a little button. And I don't know if you noticed, but the last few pages, usually what I do is I sit down with my pictures, and then I decide on a few colors, and I go with that. But I find I do get the Project Life add-on every month with the Hip Kit. And, the cards are quite a few different colors. And so I know, like this month I got 4 spreads done with the cards, which is awesome. I mean, I got a lot of layouts done, I guess, with the cards, which is great. But what I like even more is that it gives me so much more embellishments for my regular scrapbooks too. So usually with the Hip Kit, I get the main kit, I get the embellishment add-on. Most of the time I get the color add-on. The only time I don't get the color add-on is if I already have it in my stash, and then I don't want to double up, right? And then I get the Project Life add-on, I get the cardstock add-on, and then I get the extra pattern paper. Because with the pattern paper, you get so much done. Like you can get so many more layouts done. And sometimes, like for the month of April in the Project Life add-on, we got a 6x6 pattern paper pad, and which is great for your Project Life, but it just beefs up your regular scrapbook one, and you get so many layouts done. We got a whole bunch of sequins this month, and what there's quite a few ways that you can glue down sequins. You can use liquid glue. I love these sticky dots from Thermal Web, and so I just put them on there, and then there's no mess, and they don't move. And those sticky dots, I get a lot of questions about those. I got them at Simon Says Stamp. Now at Simon Says Stamps, they only have the 4x6, which is, great for most of your stuff anyway. But if you want to use those for your silhouette die cuts, it also comes in an 8.5x11 format, I guess. And the only place that I found that was on Amazon. So that's going to pretty much wrap up this spread for week 12. I'm just putting a few little titles using those little Alison Craft little stickers. I don't have too much left of those. Well, I do and I don't. Like, I'm out of A's. I only have a couple of E's. And thankfully, I do have a second sheet of that. So I'll be able to double them up and use those up, because I really love them. I love tiny stickers for Project Life and for my regular scrapbooking. So that's it. The page is done. Thanks for watching. Bye.